Good afternoon, everybody. Just want to provide an update on the homicide investigation from earlier this weekend. For the record, Chief Matt Benson, BEN, SON, Cumberland Police Department. As a result of the investigative efforts of the Cumberland Police Department Detective Division, and with the assistance of the Rhode Island State Police Violent Fugitive Task Force, the U.S. Marshals, and the Pawtucket, East Providence, and Warwick Police Departments, the suspect in the murder of Otis Diggs this past Saturday afternoon was identified as Robert Perry, 34 years of age. We are pleased to report earlier today Mr. Perry was located by the aforementioned partners and safely taken into custody in the city of Warwick. This individual has a lengthy criminal history in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, and we are proud to report that such a violent offender is once again off the street. Regarding the incident itself, the case is still a very active and ongoing investigation, so we will limit our comments at this time. What is available to share is that the victim was stabbed in the lower extremities and died as a result of those injuries. The incident stemmed from a physical altercation between the victim, Mr. Perry, and another individual at the residence on Front Street. We have reason to believe that all parties involved with the incident are familiar with one another and that no one else was physically harmed by this subject during the altercation. Additional criminal charges may be sought as the case continues to unfold. Again, I offer my condolences on behalf of the Cumberland Police Department to the family, friends, and loved ones of Otis Diggs. The collaborative and diligent efforts of our state, local, and federal partners were remarkable and ultimately resulted in the apprehension of a truly violent and dangerous individual. As we now turn the case over to the Attorney General's office for prosecution, we hope to see Mr. Perry prosecuted to the full extent of the law. We hope that this small but important step helps those left behind by Mr. Diggs an opportunity to grieve and to begin to heal. I also would like to reiterate my earlier comments whereby senseless violence like this has no place in our society, let alone this community. We need to be better custodians of life. Take any questions you have.
There was a pretty violent weekend that unfolded here over the weekend, Chief. The Central Falls murder victim, was a barber, and was that the same case in Cumberland? Is there any connection between those two, anything like that?
We're not aware of any connection, no.
Not aware of any connection. Anything to another incident? Any other incidents?
No, sir.
Where is Diggs from? What was he doing at that residence?
I believe he's from Pawtucket. The context of why he was there, we'll leave that out of that for right now. Reserve comment.
What are his charges that he's facing right now?
I'll turn that over to the captain.
Mr. Perry's facing.
Good afternoon, everyone. Captain Peter Sweet, SWEET, Cumberland Police Department, Investigative Division. We are charging right now Mr. Perry with one count of first-degree homicide.
First-degree homicide?
Yes, sir.
Any other charges? Believe that he acted alone? Any accomplices?
So at this time, it's too early, but we'll have the Attorney General's office, who's been involved since the moment we arrived on scene, to make sure that we are crossing all of our T's, dotting all of our I's.
And this might be a question for the chief or for you, Captain Sweet. The weapon object used in this stabbing, was it a knife? Was it a pair of scissors, pliers? I guess viewers at home might be curious to know what that was.
Yeah, no, it was an instrument. We're just going to leave it at that for right now, just because it's so early on.
An instrument?
Yes.
Be more
Just
specific.
a weapon.
A weapon?
Yes.
We'll call it a weapon?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Were there other people at this residence besides the three?
There were several witnesses to this case that we're continuing to interview, so I'll leave that part of the investigation as a reserve for comment as well.
Can you speak to their relationship, the victim and suspect?
They're familiar with one another. Yeah.
Taken into custody in the city of Warwick. What was he doing in the city of Warwick? Was he just kind of out and about and police tracked him down? Was he hiding? I guess kind of what were the circumstances surrounding finding Mr. Perry today?
I don't know if we can speak to the content or the context as to why he was there. We just know that he was there. We located him.
Do you know where in Warwick exactly?
Captain, I'll answer that one.
Specific location, neighborhood?
So that part of the investigation was through the Rhode Island State Police Violent Fugitive Task Force. I'd have to ask them if they would be able to comment on that information at this time. They're not available here.
Okay, so we don't have a confirmed location on where he was.
Not that I could share. I wouldn't feel, because it wasn't we were there to assist. They led that portion of it. They have jurisdiction in that area.
Being held at the ACI tonight, when will he be arraigned in court?
Possibly. We'll see if there's a bail commissioner available, and if not, I would expect tomorrow morning we would have arrangements to have him arraigned.
Okay, do you know where?
Sixth District Court.
Sixth District?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
With his lengthy criminal record, is he a probation violator? Was he out on bail for something?
I do believe he's a probation violator. That's, again, part of the Attorney General's will advise us as far as where we'll go with that aspect of things, but I do believe he is a probation violator.
Do we know anything about Mr. Diggs? His past, how they could have run into each other, things, I know, Chief, you couldn't comment on their relationship, but do we know anything more about Mr. Diggs? Have we learned any more information through that?
Yeah, just, I mean, we're still working to learn as much as we can about their relationship.
There was a point of clarification that I wanted to reference, though. In our initial press release, there was a typographical error. We had referenced that he was 40, Mr. Diggs, that is. Mr. Diggs was actually 38 at the time of his passing, so I wanted to clear the record on that publicly as well.
Chief, can you just speak to the violence in town? It's not typical you guys see the homicide, but, I mean, it's tragic nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, any community is not immune to violence, right? This is a wonderful community. It's a beautiful community. You can drive around town and see that for yourself. So I don't think anywhere is perfectly immune to something like this. It's tragic, it's unfortunate, but it's not indicative of the other people in this community. So I think that's a fair way to sum it up. This is not a common occurrence for us, but it's tragic and unfortunate all the way around. So.
Have you been called to that Brook Street building previously?
Don't believe so. I'd have to follow up on that. I'm not sure.
It says Pawtucket and East Providence police were also involved in this. Just curious, was there like a pursuit? Was he believed to be in different locations at one point, Mr. Perry, and that's kind of what led you guys to the war thing? I guess just trying to understand the agencies involved in this.
Sure. Negative, no, on a pursuit, but I'll leave all the other investigative details out of that. No comment. Just thankful for their assistance, of course. Anything else? Good. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. Thank you.
So that you said that that'll be posted on the social media page later. Great, thank you.